Hello, hello, hello. It's Mel here. Now I need to see if this is streaming into the right place. Fingers crossed. Let me know if you are there in the OMG Fabulous Academy. I really hope this is working because it's the first time I've streamed into the new group. So let me know. I'm going to do some refreshes. I've got 2 locations going on at the moment, so I need to know that it's working. It can sometimes take a little while to kick in, so I'm just going to keep checking. Oh, we're there. We're there. Yes, fantastic. I can see that it is showing, and we've got some people that are now joining us. So let me know that you can hear me, please. Send me a comment in the chat box below, and hopefully they will start to come up on my chat. We've got a Facebook user saying hi. Wonderful. And another Facebook user saying hello. So I can see who they are. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now you might be able to see, ladies. Yes, you can hear me. Yes. You might be able to see that right above this stream, it says, I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at streamyard.com/Facebook. Now, if you click on that link, it will take you to a little place where it says allow StreamYard access to my profile picture and username. If you click yes, then that means I'll know who I'm speaking to. So please do go ahead and do that. And once you do that once in this group, it means you'll never have to do it again, unless I don't use StreamYard for ages and then we have to all reconnect and everything. So please, if you could do that, that would be absolutely fabulous. And then I will know that I've got Lana here, Rebecca here, Anne here, and Anwen. Hello, lovely people. Thank you so much for being here. I only know that because I've got my Facebook open as well. Wonderful. I know Anwen knows how this works because she's an original membershipper, and I used to use StreamYard all the time when I was back there in the original membership. So thank you all for being here this evening. I just looked and it was on 222 then. Excited. Alignment. I'm talking to you here on my phone. I've checked the StreamYard link. Fabulous. Thank you, Anwen. I can see you now. Yay, I love that. I've got Anwen's name coming up. Everybody else is a Facebook user at the moment. Tina, you've typed in live. Thank you for saying live at me. So yeah, if you don't mind clicking on the link above this, then we will be able, let me show you. I'm going to turn my camera around so that you can see it without knocking my phone off. Let me show you, Anne, because I've seen you just said you can't find it. Oh gosh, my phone. Can you see here? There's me talking, and just above it, right above it here, there's a link that says streamyard.com/Facebook. That's the link that you click on. If you click on that, it will just allow you access so that I can see who it is I'm talking to, which would be fabulous. Thank you so much. Someone else has clicked the link as well. So I'm hoping that I get to know more people. Tina, you clicked the link. Did you say yes? Rebecca Mary, yes, you've done it now because I've got your name. And this is what happens, you see. Then I can click on you. So let me just show you what happens. I've got a Facebook user saying hi, then one saying hello, another saying hello with 3 kisses. I can hear you, another one, and then another one, and then Anwen saying I can hear you. Happy days. So what I can do is I can click on all your comments, and then it shows your Facebook profile and your name. Anna, yay. Woo! So a little bit of admin right at the start up here, as we often get. There's Rebecca. Woohoo! Yes, Lana's done it as well. Fabulous. We've got another Facebook user saying yes. Kerry Brown has done it. Thank you, Kerry. Wonderful. Can you see my name? I certainly can, my love. We can all see your name now. Somebody's saying I can see it. What's saying? Anne saying I can see it. What can you see, my love? Oh, you can't see it. It's right above the stream. So where my face is showing at the moment. So don't worry if you can't do it now. I'll just have to keep referring to the to this. Oh, reminder to be ready to start a live video. Facebook's telling me to be ready. I'm ready. I'm here. It's 8:05, so we're going to crack on and we're going to get going. We're going to get going. But I have got my computer here because I've got all my notes, and I've also got an extra version of streaming. Thank you, Anne Wen, just above the video, as Anne Wen's saying here. Ta-da. There you go. Technology. It's amazing when it works, isn't it? But sometimes it can make us feel a little bit vulnerable and a little bit like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But when it's on our side, it's really great. StreamYard is strange as well because it's a bit like a weather person, the way that I look. So when I'm going left now, I'm going right for you guys, but I'm going left. So it's really strange for me. Like before I went like that to do my hair and it went the opposite direction. I was like, oh, what's going on? But anyway, let's not digress and let's not get too caught up in all of the stuff on here that's going on. We are going to look at the slides in a moment. I'm going to try and introduce them into this. And I have, as I mentioned previously, I haven't done many of these webinar sessions. So thank you so much for being a safe space for me and allowing for me to do this tonight with you all. The session's due to last about half an hour-ish of slides. So I'll try to keep us on track so that we'll be done by at least 8:45, if not a little bit sooner. Let me get my notes up. And I'm going to just firstly ask you to tell me who you are. I've done that part. Where you're from. Tell us in the chat where you're from. Now, the reason why I'm asking you to do this, so in the little text windows, to get you used to interacting with me, because this is classed as an interactive webinar. So I'm going to be asking you questions and I want you to give me some of your answers. And what I want to say to you is, please don't worry about getting anything wrong because it's a learning space. It's about being able to develop our current level of understanding and awareness to expand it even greater. So we've got Anne Wen, who's in St. Asaph. Thank you so much. We've got Kerry, who's in Abergele but lives in Dorset. We've got Amy from Browse and Wows, who's in Rill. And we've got Anne, and we can see you now, Anne. Yes. High five, sister. We've got Lana, who's in Gorseth, and I know where you live, Lana. Just because I went to her house on Friday night. Rebecca, who's in Rutland right now. Thank you so much. This is fab. Thank you so much. And as I say, and Anne, who's in Prestatyn. Thanks, ladies. Is to get you used to interacting with me. So if you want a pen and paper handy, you can have one. There is no pressure really on you to write anything down. If you want to, if you're watching this on your phone, then you can do screenshots at any point if you want to capture any information. Of course, you can come back to this and watch it as many times as you want because it's here in the Academy and it's not going anywhere. I will also be emailing it out on the link to the Academy members as well. So you've got it as a backup to watch in the future. So, there'll be information at the end for you to sign up to become an official Dementia Friend if you so wish, but it's voluntary, okay? You don't have to. So if you're just here to gain some information, that's absolutely fine. No pressure, no sweat. As always, I share information with the hope that people will do with it what they want to do with it. But you know, we don't know what we don't know. So if nobody tells you, then you're never going to know the info. So here is me sharing some information with you now, which might actually help to change the way that you live. How empowering is that? Okay, so as you all know, my name is Mel, and this is a Dementia Friend information session led by the Alzheimer Society. I just ran upstairs and put my t-shirt on to do my bit. The aim of this session is to help to build dementia-friendly communities so that people living with dementia can feel supported and able to live without fear. I am a volunteer who's enthusiastic about the programme, and I work with this amazing charity to help the way that people view dementia. I completed training to become a Dementia Friend champion back in 2017, and I've been delivering the Dementia Friend information session since then. I'm not an expert in dementia, nor am I a counsellor or a medical professional. At the end of the information session, though, I will tell you how to find out more information and get more support and advice if you need it. And of course, as I mentioned, how to sign up to become an official Dementia Friend. Anne is saying she's already Dementia Friend as you work with dementia every day. Wonderful, Anne. So you will know this, and it's great for you to be here and you to be able to share things with us. I gather you've already got your little badge then. So many people say to me, I'm a Dementia Friend. I've actually just had a message from someone now saying, I'm already a Dementia Friend because I meet up with so-and-so and I spend time with them every week, which is great because that's what one of the things that we encourage and suggest and encourage people to do. But I said, have you done the information session and got your badge? And she was like, well, no. So this is you becoming an official Dementia Friend, getting your little badge. Oh, whoops, mine's upside down there. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it now. So as I mentioned, the webinar is going to last for about 30 minutes and it's going to include opportunities for you to participate using the chat that we've got, and I can bring things up on the screen if you want me to share specific information. But as I said, please don't worry, and I'm not going to bring everything up on the screen because for me, multitasking that way, I might lose where I'm at. But what I'm going to also be doing is managing the slides, managing my notes, managing the screen. I've got 3 different things all at once. So for me, it might be a bit of a brain strain overload. But please do interact and ask any questions that you do have. I can't provide any official advice, but I can certainly signpost you to places where you'll be able to get some. I just have to say from a safeguarding point of view, if anybody does share anything that could cause any areas of concern, I can't promise that I would keep it to myself, okay? So I just need to share that with regards to people's safety, of course. So now I'm going to share my screen and bring my slides into view. Where have they gone? Where have they gone? One moment, let me bring my slides back. They've knocked off. Here they are. Here they are. Let me get to the right position. Okay. Rightio. What is the first word you think of when you hear the word dementia? Please type in the box. What's the first word you think of when you hear the word dementia? Go with your gut instinct. We've got lost, loss of memory, forgetting. Thank you everybody for sharing so far. Yeah, we've got forgetting from Anwen as well. We've got confused from a Facebook user. I can't say who you are. Loss of basic skills. Thank you. Keep them coming. Any more that you can think of? Yeah, we've got forgetting again. Yeah, reverting back to childlike behaviour. As in you're unsure or that people become unsure. Either way. Frightened. Yeah. As you can see, these words are quite overwhelmingly negative, aren't they? And that's nothing to be like sorry for highlighting. It's just so that we can, this is why it's so important that we highlight the importance of dementia, what people think about it, and raise awareness about dementia as well. I'm going to bring my next slide up, sorry. This is me trying to multitask now. Here's some more examples. And this just reflects how society views dementia today. And as I said, I've got here, sorry. Losing family, loss of dignity if not cared for correctly, living in the past, loss of identity. You've done nothing wrong by using negative words. The words you've come up with reflect how society views dementia and shows how important it is that we work to change perceptions and address the fear of and stigma of dementia. So I'm thrilled that you're here today to help us to do this by becoming Dementia Friends. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate you being here with me today. So what is Dementia Friends? Let me tell you a little bit more about it. Dementia Friends is a social action movement that aims to increase understanding of dementia and inspire people to take action to support people affected by dementia in their community. It is a programme that's supported by the Welsh Government in Wales, and it's led by the Alzheimer Society as a strand of its work to create dementia-friendly communities, which are communities that are more understanding of and inclusive of people living with dementia. You may be aware that I'm part of Dementia Friendly Abergele. To become a dementia friend, all you need to do is understand 5 key messages. So we're going to be going through those today, and they're messages that Alzheimer's Society think everybody should know about dementia. And then we'll ask you to commit to take a dementia friendly action, and I'll be asking to do that later on in the session. Now, as I've mentioned, it is voluntary. You do not have to go ahead with it if you don't want to, but I truly hope that the information I share will inspire you to want to become involved. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start thinking about the 5 key messages that we feel everyone should know about dementia. And I'm going to ask you to take part in a simple activity. And it's not a test, but it's a way to get you thinking about things. And your task is to figure out what the missing word is in the sentences that you'll be able to see on the screen in a moment. So here are the 5 key messages. So dementia is not a natural part of blank. Dementia is caused by blank of the brain. Dementia is not just about blank. And it is possible to blank with dementia, and there is blank to the person than the dementia. So does anybody want to give me a stab at what you think the answer to number 1 is? Dementia is not a natural part of what? Pop your answers in the chat box. We have got aging from Kerry Brown. Thank you so much. That is correct. We've got aging. Yes, thank you so much. Dementia is not a natural part of aging. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to go through these answers, and then I'm going to expand on them in a moment, so that we can go through those answers together. And as I say, don't worry. Even if you put in something and it doesn't come out as correct, that's fine. It's all a learning journey, isn't it? So thank you all so much for interacting and for popping that answer in there. Let's go to the next one. So dementia is caused by what of the brain? Pop your answers in the box. Dementia is caused by what of the brain? What do you think it is? We have got diseases. Thank you so much. You are all correct. Thank you. Number 3. Dementia is not just about what? Dementia is not just about losing your memory. Thank you, Anne Wen. Dementia is not just about losing your memory. That is correct. That's the 3rd key message. It is possible to what with dementia? It is possible to what with dementia? Live well. And when and Lana were a joint then. You came up all at the same time. Oh my gosh, they're all coming at me all at the same time. Thank you. It's possible to live well with dementia. Now, I know that can cause some contention, that answer, so we'll talk about that in a bit more depth. And last but not least, there is what to the person and the dementia. What's the final answer? There is more to the person and the dementia. Indeed, there is. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your answers. Okay, so let me load the next screen. There's our 5 key messages. So these are the 5 key messages that Alzheimer's Society wants us to learn. And as I mentioned, we're going to go into them in a little bit more depth. So let me just go to the next slide. So the first key message, dementia is not a natural part of aging. What do you think that we mean by that? Type your thoughts in the chat box. What do you think we mean by dementia is not a natural part of ageing? I'll wait for a moment. Dementia is not a natural part of ageing. Thank you, Bex. Not everyone will have dementia as they age. Absolutely. So not everyone who grows old will develop dementia, and not everyone who develops dementia is old. People in their 20s have been diagnosed with dementia, although this is very rare. Just because we've got some other answers coming up here. Thank you so much. Just because you're old, you don't have to have dementia. We often think about not necessarily linked to age. We often think about people getting confused as they get older. It doesn't just happen as you age. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your responses. So the next slide. Dementia is caused by diseases of the brain. So this is our second key message. And in the same way that any other organ can be damaged by disease, for example, kidney disease, liver disease, dementia is caused when diseases physically damage the brain. So imagine the brain is a collection of thousands of fairy lights. I wish that I could use this as an interactive slide, but it doesn't quite work the way that it's supposed to. But each of these represents a memory, a skill, or a function that you can see on that slide right now. Imagine that dementia is causing some of those lights to flicker, to dim, or to switch off completely. Now, for each person, this will happen in different order and different lights will be affected. But just like with other diseases, a healthy lifestyle that features regular exercise, a balanced diet, not smoking, less alcohol, can reduce your chance of developing dementia. What's good for your heart is good for your head. And that's one of the things that really resonated with me when I learned this information. Okay. The next thing that I want to tell you. Oh no, damn it. Right, I'm going to have to do it this way instead. Does anybody know what the difference is between dementia and Alzheimer's? I just want to share these comments because they're really important. Dementia has no age barrier, absolutely, but the risk increases the older we get, which is why you see a greater number of older people with dementia, but it doesn't, that is correct. And it happens to such a lot of professional people. It just goes to show there's nothing that says you won't get it just because you've got a load of money or anything like that, just like any other disease. But let me ask again, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? Does anybody know? It's okay if you don't. Dementia is an umbrella term that describes a collection of symptoms. That's fine, absolutely fine, nothing to be sorry for. Not sure, that's fine, and lots of people aren't sure, and that's why it's so good that we do this, we cover it. Alzheimer's is just one type or cause of dementia. Does anybody want to give a stab at how many different types of dementia there are? How many do you think? Alzheimer's is a specific disease, it is. Thank you, Anne. Alzheimer's is a specific type or cause of dementia, but how many types of dementia do you think there may be? And are there any particular ones that you've heard of before? We've already mentioned Alzheimer's. So Kerry's saying 10. They are similar. One can be more rapid. And when saying 4. Vascular, yeah, that's one of them. So you'll often hear people talk about Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia. Amy wants to say 12 and over 100. Yes. Anne gets brownie points here. Yeah. So there's over 100 types of dementia, which is just crazy and mind-blowing to think of. So think of dementia as the umbrella term. Let me get the slide up on the screen for you. One moment. And then you can see. Okay, these are some of the different types of dementia you may hear about. Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, and frontotemporal dementia are the 4 most diagnosed, but there's over 100 types of dementia. And this is really important for us to have that bit of awareness as well. So we're going on to the 3rd key message next. So dementia is not just about losing your memory. Okay, so this is our 3rd key message. So thinking back to all the fairy lights, oh yes, Lana's saying here, caused by blows to the head. There's been that documentary, hasn't there, with the rugby players, and I know, yeah, I've spoke about this with Gay. Yeah, most of them are mixed forms. I hear about that a lot as well. And obviously this is your profession, so you know so much more than I do about this. But yeah, I've heard about this a lot. Lots of people say mixed dementia, and in different variations as well. But yeah, I've spoke with Gay about the one with the blows to the head and the footballers, and from heading the ball and everything as well. So thinking about the fairy lights, other than memory, what functions does the brain control that could be affected by dementia? So what are the functions does the brain control that could be affected by dementia? And type your suggestions in the chat box, please. Movement, yeah, thank you. Mobility, movement, motor skills, speech, body functions. Yeah, great, thank you everybody. Wonderful. I'm going to bring the slide up now. Okay, so motor skills. Someone with dementia might struggle with using a knife and fork or climbing up and down the stairs. Sequencing, so someone with dementia might struggle to get a task in the right order, like getting dressed in the morning, for example, or maybe put on 2 tops and no skirt. Changes in inhibition. So for someone who is living with dementia, maybe used to be quite a shy person, might become quite outgoing, or vice versa. Visual perception, so some examples of this are difficulty in judging or seeing colour contrast. I know that when I've spoken with, when we were doing dementia friendly work, there was somebody from Llandudno Hospital who came to us and they'd said that they'd put red toilet seats on and things like that. So, and there's lots of different tools and useful resources available on the Alzheimer's Society website. And I know when the Pennebont pub, when they were doing their dementia friendly actions as part of the dementia friendly communities, they were using blue plates because it made it easier to be able to see the food because it was on the plate and it wasn't blending into the table. So what do you think a shiny floor might look like to somebody living with dementia? What do you think a shiny floor might look like to somebody living with dementia? Yeah, might look like glass or like icy, or it might look wet. So it might look dangerous to step on top of. It wouldn't be someone uncommon for somebody, yes, Lana, water. It wouldn't be uncommon for somebody living with dementia. Do you know those tablecloths you get with pieces of fruit on them? It wouldn't be uncommon for somebody to reach in and try to grab one of those pieces of fruit because of the way that their perception's changed. And what do you think that a black mat at the entry of a shop might look like to somebody living with dementia? What do you think a black mat might look like? A hole. Yeah. A black mat might look like a hole. I can't speak properly. And that's one of the things that we worked with many of the shops in Abergele, was to just change their mat, the entrance. That's why I've got a pink love heart on mine when you come into Studio MG. Everybody's saying a hole in the floor. Yeah, absolutely. And imagine if you were out living and you're with somebody who's living with dementia and they're struggling with communication, how they might feel if you're trying to take them into a shop, or you're trying to walk into them with a shop and they see this black mat on the floor. They're struggling to communicate with how they feel about that potentially being a hole, and then other people around might stop and stare or snigger or pass judgment or comment. For you, that might feel like you might feel quite frustrated. You might feel quite embarrassed. You might feel like you didn't want to keep going out because of the scene that it's caused, or you might feel angry. You might feel really passionately like tell everyone to mind their own business. But imagine what a nicer world we would be living in if everybody became a dementia friend and everyone just had this piece of awareness. Not saying anyone would get involved or interact or intervene, but just have a great level of compassion and understanding and kindness for other people. Absolutely. Absolutely, Lana. So many people have said this to me. So many people have said this to me as well. It's just having that greater level of kindness and awareness for people, isn't it? Totally. Communication I'll mention. So a person living with dementia might forget words or use the wrong words, like calling a dog a horse, for example. And there are so many more examples too. So we're going to move on now to the fourth key message. So this is, it is possible to live well with dementia. People living with dementia may still be able to work, to drive, to have relationships, and what they can do and how long they can do it for will depend on their particular circumstances, of course. And living well will mean different things to different people. We are not saying that it doesn't bring challenges, but despite these challenges, it is still possible to live well with dementia. What do you think that someone needs in order to live well with dementia? Please write your comments in the box. What do you think somebody needs in order to live well with dementia? There's lots of support available to people with dementia now, and that's amazing. Yes, support, absolutely. Kindness, support, love, familiar life, and people. Gorgeous. Thank you, everybody. Wonderful. Support and understanding. With more support and understanding, a person has a much better chance to live well with dementia. For example, when we talked about people with dementia struggling with communication, there are lots of little things that you can do to help. So I'm going to bring another slide up onto the screen now. So some of those things are listening, to giving plenty of encouragement, and if needed, repeating back what you've understood to make sure it's correct. Reducing distractions, so turning off loud TVs or moving to a quieter area. Speaking clearly at a slower pace and calmly, using shorter sentences. Thinking about our body language, so making sure that we maintain eye contact and ensure our facial expression matches the message that we're giving as well. There are different visual clues that we can use with visual aids, written words, pictures or objects. And of course, always treat them with respect. Oh, somebody's put that here, treat them as an equal, not as a child. 100%. Thank you so much for whoever's written that, Facebook user. Another example of helping someone live well is if you understand that the person living with dementia is experiencing difficulty with their perception, you might just move that black mat, for example, or be able to comfort or reassure them. There's lots of different things that we can do. But going back to this point here about treating them as an equal and not as a child, we should never, ever talk down to somebody living with dementia or talk about them as though they're not in the room, because they absolutely 100% deserve our respect. We're going on to the fifth key message now, so I'm going to share the next screen with you. There is more to the person than the dementia. So this is our fifth key message. And in the same way we'd look at someone with cancer or diabetes and we'd see a person first, there is more than to the person than the dementia. So I'm going to tell you a true story now. And there was a man who was living in a nursing home, and every day he would sit on a chair in the corridor. And every time someone walked past, he'd start to become agitated and upset. He would shout at people and wave his arms. Staff and residents began to avoid him, and he became really isolated and lonely. One day his relatives visited and they began to talk about his past. They shared that during the war he worked in the bomb disposal division, and his job was to sit next to the landmined area and guide people through on a safe path. The staff realised that the man was reliving this part of his life, and when he was shouting, he believed that people were walking through the minefield, ignoring his directions. Of course, this changed the staff's approach from then on, and every time that they passed him in the corridor, they would stop and they would ask him to guide them through. This meant that it took a few seconds longer to walk up the corridor, but it had a huge positive impact on this man's life. He was no longer frustrated, but instead he had purpose again, and people engaged with him, talking about his time in the war and seeing him with a renewed respect. His quality of life improved so much, supported him to live well with dementia. There is more to the person than the dementia, which I think is a lovely way to bring that piece to life. Beck saying, I experienced that when working in nursing homes as a teenager. I used to sit and listen. That's so lovely. And for those who come to the in-person sessions, if you ever wanted to do the full 1 hour session, there's another story that we share as well, which again is really, really touching. It made me cry. Okay, so Dementia Friends is turning about understanding into action. So as I mentioned, at the end of the session, I'll be asking you to think about what you can do differently in your day-to-day life that may help people living with dementia. Here are a few things to get you thinking. So it could be keeping in touch with someone you know who was living with dementia and offering to help them. It could be letting people know that Alzheimer Society is here for anyone affected by dementia and sharing their social media posts. Some journalists have committed to never using the term dementia sufferer in the press ever again. A small change for them, but huge for Alzheimer Society and those living with dementia. What does the term dementia sufferer imply? Please type your thoughts in the box. They all have lived experiences and we all need time to listen. Absolutely, Anne. Just listen and support always. Listening is one of the greatest gifts that we have, isn't it? It's one of the most precious things that we can give to someone as well. What does the term dementia sufferer imply? It's negative, absolutely it is. It's full of that they have no life. Yeah, it's full of woefulness, isn't it? And victimness, misery, and someone to feel sorry for. And it just suggests that it's not possible to live well with dementia. But instead, if we use the term living with dementia, we see the person first, not just the dementia. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's why you will have heard me say numerous times the person living with dementia, and hopefully you'll see that more and more in the press as well. So let's recap the 5 key messages. Dementia is not a natural part of aging. Dementia is caused by diseases of the brain. Dementia is not just about losing your memory. It is possible to live well with dementia, and there is more to the person than the dementia. So now I'm going to explain to you dementia, how it was explained to me, which will help you to understand how dementia could affect a person. It's not a scientific explanation, and please remember that dementia affects everybody differently. So I'm going to bring my new slides up now. I'm going to explain this to you. So how does dementia affect me? Imagine that's me on the screen there. I'm 80 years old and there's a bookcase that's full beside me and it's as tall as me. Each book represents a memory or a fact. My top shelf here is holding my very recent books, such as what I had for breakfast. By my shoulders are my books from my 60s. By my knees are books from my 20s. And by my feet are books from my childhood, such as going to school. So maybe my 20s is meeting my partner, and maybe my 60s, my memories such as my retirement party. Dementia will rock my bookcase from side to side. So as the books start to rock, where are they going to fall off from? Pop it in the chat. Where do you think the books are going to fall off from first? Where do you think my books are going to fall from first? Dementia is rocking my bookcase from side to side. Yep. The top. Absolutely. They are. Top shelf, top. They'll start to fall from the top shelf first, and this might explain why my recent memories will be affected sooner. As dementia progresses, my upper shelves will empty. So what I think of as my most recent memories will come from further down my bookcase. And that will be earlier on in my life. So, for example, if the only books that are still firm in my bookcase are from my lower shelves when I was in my 20s, I might find myself living in the 1960s. So if I go to make a cup of tea, what will be different in my modern kitchen from my 1960s kitchen? Would you like to put your ideas in the chat box? What do you think would be different in my modern day kitchen versus my 1960s kitchen? There's going to be tons, isn't there? Loads that's different. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you. Kettle and no tea bags, no doubt. So when I fill my electric kettle, I might then go to put it on the hob because that's what I would have done with my 1960s whistling kettle. And as you, my carer, my friend, or my family member, you might be tempted to stop me making tea. You might shout at me and it might make me panic because for me, all I'm doing is making a cup of tea. And this is what I do every single day. So why are you stopping me? This could leave me feeling really frustrated, annoyed, upset. It would help. Well, it wouldn't help. It would make me lose my confidence. However, depending on my particular circumstances, perhaps you could just switch my electric kettle out for an old style whistle one instead. In that way, I can be supported to continue to make tea. And that just shows how embracing my reality can help me live well with dementia. Now, from what I've said so far, you might think a person living with dementia loses everything, but I've actually just shown you one part of the brain. So here on this next slide, I'm going to share with you my factual bookcase. This manages my factual biographical data, such as faces, names, dates, numbers. Picture this bookcase made from flimsy wood, okay? This is the one that you can see beside me now. It's not very resistant to dementia. It moves a lot and the books will fall out easily. So my factual bookcase, my hippocampus, part of my brain. Now, alongside me, there's another part of my brain, my amygdala, which you can see is a separate bookcase. And this is that side of me now. I should do it the other way around. Okay, we'll do, oh, I can't do this. This side is my amygdala. That side is my hippocampus. Okay. My emotional bookcase manages my feelings, my emotions. And this bookcase is made of solid oak. It's more resistant to dementia. So the contents will be safe from dementia for longer. Okay, can you see in that picture there? So for every book on my factual bookcase, I have a corresponding book on my emotional bookcase. So for example, on my factual bookcase, I've got a memory of my teacher I had in school that's way down here. And on my emotional bookcase, my examples of feeling inspiration for what they taught me. So I've got an example now of when you come to see me and we go out for the day and we have a row because I forgot your name. So I forgot your name. Sorry, I'm having to do this in opposite ways round. Factual, biographical, dates, names. I forgot your name. How do you think I'll be feeling at this point on my emotional bookcase? How am I going to be feeling? How do you think I'll be feeling? I might be feeling sad, upset, angry. And you go away thinking it doesn't matter. Yeah. Annoyed and frustrated, overwhelmed, confused, absolutely sad and upset. You might go away thinking it doesn't matter because I'll forget about it. And I may forget that we had the argument. And I may forget that you'd even visited. But what stays with me is those feelings of sadness, upset or anger, which will remain firm on my emotional bookcase and I won't know why. But let me give you a more positive example now. So we go out for an ice cream. You come to visit me on a different day. We have a lovely time. We go out for an ice cream. We go to the seaside. So we have an ice cream. We go to the seaside. All these facts of things that we did. How do you think I'm going to be feeling at this point? Loved, happy, safe, content. And by the time we get back home, I'm going to have forgotten that we had the ice cream. Yeah, there's some lovely words coming up there. Nostalgic, happy, loved. Absolutely. I'm going to forget that we had the day out potentially, because those books have fallen off my factual bookcase. And you might think not to visit anymore because I won't remember you or the visit. I might forget the visit, but because that book's come off my factual bookshelf. But what stays with me are these feelings of love, of happiness, of safety, of contentment. They remain firm on my emotional bookcase. So I may forget what we did, but I won't forget that feeling of safety and happiness. And that's what matters the most. And this is why we encourage anyone who knows someone living with dementia to continue to keep in touch with them. There's more to the person than dementia, and we can help them to live well. So let's recap the 5 key messages once more. I'm going to bring them up on the slides for you now. And then I'm going to take you to the next part, which is to what to do to become a dementia friend as we draw this to a close. So to be a dementia friend, you need to support the 5 key messages, which I've got on the screen there. And I'll ask you to commit to doing your own dementia friendly action. And what does dementia friendly mean to you? Perhaps you've got an idea now of what does dementia friendly mean. You might have something that you want to share with us in the box, but no pressure to. As mentioned, there is no action too big or small. So for example, from what we've learned today, I'm sure we could all agree that it's going to be a nicer world if we all show a bit more patience and kindness towards people living with dementia, or anybody in the world, because we don't know. Somebody living with dementia can look just like you or I, and we just won't know. Other actions you could take that were suggested by people affected by dementia include keeping in touch with someone you know who's living with dementia. I'm just going to bring these next slides up on. You could do some fundraising, perhaps to help raise funds for Alzheimer Society or make a donation. You could volunteer for an organisation that helps people living with dementia. Perhaps you want to sign up to the Alzheimer Society campaigns and get involved that way, or petition your MPs. There's lots of different things you can do. It could be that you just want to share a dementia friendly action badge. So if you've got this on a phone now and you want to do a screenshot, then please do a little screenshot of this slide now, and you can crop it all and you can put that I'm a dementia friend bag onto your Facebook page and tell people that you've become a dementia friend this evening by attending this session. Oh, why is it saying I can't post comments? Absolutely. Oh, that's lovely to hear, Facebook user. Thank you so much for sharing that. We never know. We never know. That is so true. So true. So wearing a dementia friend badge when you're out and about can really help. Sharing digital badge on your social media platform can spread the word at a really quick rate. And what you can do is go on to the dementia-friend.org website, which is listed below, and I'll actually share with you the direct link for you to sign up and do that online. When you next see me in person, I can give you one of these badges. Every action makes a difference. So what's yours going to be? Start thinking about it, and I will ask you to share that in a moment. So my next question to you is, do you want to become a dementia friend? All you have to do to become a dementia friend is to commit to a dementia friendly action and understand our 5 key messages. So what would that action be for you? So here we go. I'm going to share with you now somewhere where if you are watching this on a laptop, you can scan the QR code, or you can text friends to 82772, or you can visit dementiafriends.org.uk/webinar. Oh, ace. I'm saying love it. There's so much that we can do, simple actions that can make a real difference to people living with dementia. To receive your digital badge, along with tips to get started and what else you can do to help build a dementia-friendly world, make sure that you do opt into emails by ticking the box at the bottom of the form that you fill in online. If you do any of these 3 options that are showing on the screen, absolutely will share. Fabulous, Amy, thank you so much. And when we'll share, that's awesome. So you can either scan the QR code or you can text friends to 82772. to be understanding and listen to everyone. Absolutely. We'll shout it loud and clear to all. Thank you so much. Please do us a favour this evening. If you're going to post it on your social media, please tag me in those posts as well. And if you want to tag in Dementia Friendly Abigail, I would really appreciate it, because it just takes people to that Facebook page as well. Wonderful. Thank you, Lana. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you're all going to share as your Dementia Friendly action, which is absolutely fabulous. Also, what I will be doing is on my Dementia Friend platforms, where I've created, I think, over 400 Dementia Friends now. Personally, I've done over 300 in my workplace before I quit my corporate job as well. I've loaded on there that I'm doing Dementia Friend session tonight. So I can also say that we've created 7 or 8 new Dementia Friends on this session tonight, which is great. But please do share any other actions you feel that you might want to take. And I'm just going to take you through to the next slide. Here's some other places. So I mentioned earlier on about places where you can get further support. So thank you so much, everybody, for what you've shared tonight and for your commitment to sharing online that you've become a Dementia Friend. If you know anyone that needs any further support, here are some places that you can go. When you do register, if you tick the box to say that they can keep in touch with you, you'll also receive this information via email as well. So Alzheimer's Society has got tons of information and resources available. There's so many different situations. If you're thinking about bringing this into your workplace, or if you want me to come to your workplace to deliver a Dementia Friend information session, then give me a shout and I can do an in-person one. There's no charge to this. I just volunteer my time to do it. Or if you need, somebody needs direct information, there's the Dementia Connect support line, there's the talking point places, the forums, and there's lots of places that you can look for nearby as well, with the Dementia Connect websites nearby. Thank you so much for your time tonight. You've just joined over 3.3 million Dementia Friends in England and Wales. I'm so, so grateful for your time. I'm sorry I've submitted and registered. Fabulous. Thank you. I'm going to just check who that Facebook user is. I feel like I know who it is, but I just want to check. Oh, it's Tina. Thanks, Tina. Let me just say, Tina, if you go to the top of this stream, it says streamyard.com/Facebook. If you click that, and it'll allow you access, I'll be able to see who you are next time. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I hope you found it useful. I will also do a screenshot so you've got the slide where you can register if you haven't already done so. Thanks for your time. I'm going to let you go now. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, ladies. Goodbye.